guys. We are back for the second part of the life casting for today. This is going to involve this box right here. This was our foot form. As you can see, we've already traced out the feet for that. So we know how to register them in there and get them in there right. So we have enough material all the way around. We're doing this with alginate. And we're also having to try a trick because we need alginate all the way around. But the problem is that we also have to register his feet in the proper height. So we have a ½ inch of material on the bottom as well. And it's hard for him to hold his legs in that position for a very long time. So we're going to try to create a floor and then use the old trick of adding some water mixed with sodium bicarbonate or baking soda to the mix so it rejoins with that new batch of alginate that we're putting on. So basically what you see Ted doing now is just prepping the shoes. These shoes are actually going to be inside the, oh no.
Well, that's why we got more of them.
Yep.
Thank you, Amber.
Welcome.
These shoes are going to be the ones that are inside the creature suit. So we want to try to get something that is going to fit properly during the molding and the casting phase.
Do you have fire?
I don't know.
Check your pockets.
For what?
Fire. The door's been open. We got mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes are in the building.
Chelsea's being attacked. We're dive bombing. I had one follow me in from outside and it tried to get me while I was in the pot.
I don't see any.
I'm stranded on the pot and being attacked by a mosquito.
So basically those are giant latex balloons that we're going to be trying to stretch over his shoes.
Here we go. I'm having 10 none. Did you cut the neck hole off?
Yeah.
You should you have any ease release 200?
That may actually work.
I mean, it was a serious suggestion.
We didn't have this much trouble in the test.
They're not standard latex balloons. They're ginormous.
No, these are like, what, 24 inch?
24 inch ones.
Here, I'll go ahead and put it on the compressor as well.
Can you look right outside the door and see
One.
what's there?
That's not bad. You know,
Ah.
walk around or anything.
Yeah.
Like silent film.
It looks like you become like 1/16 of a balloon.
I'm going to stretch them out a little bit. Get them ready for his feet.
It's oblong.
Yeah, it is. It's weird.
Weird.
That is a weird looking balloon. I guess the real
And
problem
we
with the
did
tightness
scissors
is
and-
around the
I already
end
cut
there.
the neck. I already cut it.
No, you never mind.
One thing we learned in the test is don't walk around with the balloons on your feet because they will rip very, very easily.
Well,
Yes.
never too old to make farts with balloons. If anyone was asleep, not now.
Hello, Lurleen. Karina. Hey, how's it going, girl? Chris Mason, thank you guys for all joining. So basically what we've pulled aside is just enough to get that floor done. And Chelsea, our faithful intern, is standing by with the baking soda
Jesus,
solution.
Mary and Joseph. Get another balloon.
Ah.
You ripped it.
We will get this set up.
If that doesn't work, pull out the special weapon.
The special balloons.
Yeah.
The special balloons. Funny story,
The
actually.
hats of the Jimmies. Hey, it works. They're stretchy.
One more attempt here.
They don't have any protecting problem.
Because they're the same width all the way up.
Yeah.
Not even
I wonder why we're having so many problems with this.
Because the hole I'm trying to get my foot through is about that big.
Always remember to circumcise your balloons, people.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm feeling very Rocky Horror now.
This is like trying to get
I feel like I'm putting shoes on my kids. We haven't even with really
It's like trying to get
small
high
fingers.
tops on Ian. Yeah. Because he apparently does not know how the foot works.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just put them in, because that's not working very well.
And get the Jimmy hats.
We'll try that.
Where are those?
They were in the original bag, so that other bag there. I believe that
Give it
one.
a try. What's the worst that could happen, right?
It's lube.
Well, I'll let you pick which one you want.
This is going to be a blind choice. Just
Yes.
so you know.
So our secondary choice, as we're having balloon issues, are good old-fashioned Jimmy hats. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
we're going to
stretch.
see how these fit. This was our original thought.
No.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
goodness. Don't get that brand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
those do not prevent.
I don't think that they're intended to go over a foot, but I guess, you know, everyone has their own kinks.
People are into weird stuff.
Was that the extra thin?
I think it might have been.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Let's see how this one fares. And if not, we can always try it without. That'll make things a little more difficult, but
Doesn't help with the lube.
Well, that was all they had at the
Sorry,
store. I'm not a
you
professional
should have
condom
used
purchaser.
These are at least 200 on the inside of the balloon.
I'm wondering if that would work or just make it slide off.
I don't know.
I'd also be concerned, since latex is a natural product,
Ah.
that it may degrade it to the point where it would break anyway. But we can try it since we're desperate.
Well, that might help the balloon slide on.
What?
I was saying. We almost got it.
Did that one work? Nope.
It
Keeps
snapped.
breaking around
Snap.
the heel. Well, let's just try it the way it is. Trial and errors. Okay.
Lube up that heel.
Yeah, I'm worried about it basically sliding in between the toes and locking.
Well, that's
Up
why
there.
he looped up the shoe now. Maybe the
Now
balloon
try
will
to
One
stay.
more
slide
balloon?
again.
We can try one more balloon and see.
Magical
Okay,
world of special
This is
effects.
internet gold here.
Yes.
This is a special effects video. I just want to clarify that.
Yes.
In case anybody just randomly comes in.
Well, it was really embarrassing going in as a family and, you know, going into the Dollar General, 2 boxes of condoms and a pair of 24-inch balloons.
How weird it is for me. I'm doing it with my husband and my father.
Yeah.
Not actually doing it, but making the purchase.
And the cashier was so nice. She basically just said, I don't even notice anymore.
But that store hasn't been open that long.
Yeah.
Well, it was just a transfer. They just built a new building. So it's
See,
not
there
like-
is a thin spot you can see in the latex.
Right.
See that?
Well, they
They're
can't.
gonna kill me.
Yeah, there's a thin spot in this
What,
latex.
the mosquito stuff, or you're just laughing too much?
Laughing too
Well-
much.
How
Bit of
much
both,
of the
really?
neck do we need? Yeah, there is a huge defect in it. You
Okay.
can see it.
So, just lop off where you
Trying
need to.
cutting it down to there and seeing if we can at least get the toe covered. You see where that light spot is?
This should actually be easier.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
See if it stretches over the
Cindy
heel.
said our excursion to make the purchase should have been videotaped.
Oh
I
yes.
don't know if you want that to be that picture.
Yeah, could you imagine? Adventures in special effects. And sometimes it just comes down to that. I
Scott
mean,
Thompson wants to know why we don't cast the mold in his bare feet.
well, we have to fit the shoes into the costume, and I want to be sure to have enough space around it, because we also need to make it larger than even that. But you
He's
know,
going to
the,
be cast in
There we
latex,
go.
so
Yes.
there'll be shrinkage.
Okay.
and he's going to be wearing those, not the balloons, but he'll be wearing the shoes inside the
So
costume.
we have to make sure there's room for the shoes. That's why we're
Yes.
casting in the shoes.
You have a stick?
I do have a stick. So again, Chelsea is standing by with the sodium bicarbonate or the baking soda. So we're going to get this material into the mold floor. I have my lines inside
You know
the
what you
mold.
should have used? Alka-Seltzer tabs.
That's
That would have dissolved.
Yeah. I
They
wonder
have
what
some
else
in
is
the
in there though. We'd have to try that.
Love to test that.
All right, so here we go. Again, this is 8 minutes at 80 degrees. The water is a little cooler than that, so we will have a little more time. But here we go. And we'll have a little more water if we need it standing by.
Don't move your feet around too much. You don't want to pop your
Your foot condoms.
Yes.
And Ted, can you reach one of those things of water? We're gonna probably need just a little more in here. This is still pretty thick. Good. Okay, a little more. We're going for like a pancake batter consistency with this. You could go a little bit thicker if you were doing a facial life cast, but for this we kind of want to fill that floor pretty well. A little bit more. This is a good consistency for faces now. You almost need borderline horrible. A little bit more. And again, if you're using tap water, you have to do tests first and find out what the setting time is, because different waters are going to have different levels of
depending if you
sodium.
have city water, well water, and where your water is
Looks like
coming
we're going to
from.
need just a little more, and then we got to really move because this is starting to gel already. You have a very short pot life with this stuff. And this is where we're creating the floor.
Your knee is blocking what you're doing. Just
I'm sorry.
Switch to camera 2.
Camera 2? You got a better.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah. Okay, and then shake that around a little bit. That'll level it out. Move this out of the way. So that's going to start to gel up, and that will be the floor that gives us the bottom of the mold.
brush off the bottom of your feet before you get in there.
Oh, man.
And what I'm doing off camera is just getting the rest of the alginate into the mixing bucket. Because we need the volume of the 1-to-1 by volume. Can you hand me that? Or where'd the one go that was behind you?
This one?
That one. Be right back, guys. I'm pouring this out.
You know, without context, it looks like there's just a man showing off his blue-covered feet.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
His pasty legs.
Okay, so we have our alginate ready to go, pre-measured for each of the feet. Hopefully, it's harder to guess with this because you have the material there, but you have the displacement of the shoe. Can you check just by touching that, Chelsea, and see where we are with the...
Getting there.
Okay, we're almost there then.
Get inside.
Okay.
Fixing it for brush now.
We just want that to be barely stout enough to where you can put your foot in there. So feel it every once in a while and just see how stout it is. If you can from that angle, then you'll be able to see.
Stuff with my hand.
Yeah. It's a little bit cooler in the box, I'm sure. Let's take a look and see. Almost there.
Now, shouldn't you be mixing stuff now?
We gotta be sure that that's...
Are we gonna pour that in and then we put my foot in? Or pour that around my foot?
We're probably gonna pour it around your foot.
Okay.
So first thing Chelsea's going to do is brush that in as soon as it sets up to the point where it can take it.
Okay.
Then you'll rest your feet in there. Try not to put like all your weight, but
Right.
you'll be able to rest your feet in there. And then we will start mixing
go.
and pouring the other
Go.
stuff. Okay. This is just a thin layer that gets splashed in. And while she's doing that, I'm going to get the water into this.
That is so slippy.
Yes. Try to keep your feet centered there.
That means I got a good coverage then.
Very good. And while she's doing that, and there are a number of products that you can get on the market that do basically the same thing as the sodium bicarbonate. I believe there's a product called Alga-Slow that basically retards it. Can you add a little bit more water to this mix? You can use the squirrel mixer, but where's the fun in that? A little bit more, just a touch. There we go. Okay, and here we go. Oh,
Going over the side here.
is there any getting to the back of your heel? Come down.
Very good.
Push it around.
Very good. I feel like soon I'm going to be sleeping with the fishes.
I think cement would work better, although seaweed is more appropriate for our...
Environmentally
environment.
conscious.
Yes.
For the environmentally
Not
conscious
sure.
gangster.
environmentally conscious mob hitman.
Yes, I'm imagining. Although to be fair, they do make concrete structures underwater from the coral growth. That's a thing.
Well, in Goodfellow, if they took that one guy to the zoo, they were doing a favor. They were feeding the lions.
They pigs it together, wouldn't
I think we could probably use a bit more because there's some mark on my ankle that it's supposed to go up to.
Yeah, we can try to get some more mixed. We have a little bit as Chelsea, if you want to get that water ready and open that up, please, quickly.
Yep.
Quickly.
Okay, open.
Okay. We don't have much left. I should have just mixed the whole thing. Okay, a little bit of water in there, not too much. Okay, a little more. Keep going. There. Add a little more. More. That's it.
This one's more.
Okay. Got a handful of each. That's all she wrote. The thing that was really a benefit to us was that we use cool water on this because the setting temperature is 80 degrees. So by going a little bit cooler, you prolong that. And then there are products, like I said, the Algislow will retard that a little bit. So Ted, how does it feel?
Slimy.
Slimy.
That isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, you just hope at this point that it is going to work, because I mean, there's always, if you haven't done something a certain way before, which I've never had a reason to do a life cast like this. Normally you would do it barefooted, but we want to make sure that those shoes are going to fit in there right, give us enough clearance, because he's going to be walking around in this all day. So, you know, want to have enough clearance. And we also have to consider the fact that it's going to be shrinking. You know, the latex is going to be shrinking, you know, 15% or so, 12 to 15. So I want him to be comfortable. And that's a lot of times what isn't considered is the comfort of the model. And I can't tell you how important that is, whether it comes to visibility. You know, it's bad enough, like for this mask, the Gill-Man, if you guys have read anything about the Creature from the Black Lagoon's costume, is that the land creature had very, very low visibility because his eyes were behind lenses that kind of prevented him from seeing everything. So he saw shapes and shadows, but no real definition. And poor Ted...
Like me without my glasses.
Yes.
Already sees like that.
So poor Ted is going to be, you know, wearing a costume that's faithful to the original land creature. So it may not be the most comfortable, but if you do have a model that you're putting into a costume that either can't see or is going to be restricted for eating or anything like that, please let them know in advance and prepare them for that, because it's not always fun, especially if they're glued into the mask.
Unlike on Face Off.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were really good about, you know, when you're on a show like that, they tell you what you can and can't do for the safety of the model, and the models are in there for like 12 hours. So, yeah, they say it's got to be able to come off quickly from around the mouth if the mouth is covered, or the eyes need to be unblocked, that sort of thing. And every once in a while you get a trooper of a model that just says they'll do anything, you know, just give them a good mask and a good prosthetic and they'll suffer through it, which I don't think I ever really put people through it.
Made someone suffer through it.
Yeah, I mean, the worst was probably the model that wore the Twisted Tom, because one of his eyes was restricted because of the layout of the prosthetic.
That's the depth perception.
Yeah, so he had one eye that he could see out of naturally, and then the other eye was obscured. But he was really great too. Good model. All of the models were, though. I really didn't have a complaint with any of the models I got. Because a lot of them are luck of the draw, and then others are you get to pick. But the ones that I just lucked into, they were good models. So, for those of you guys that are joining, I see we've added a few more people. You see that we are working on Ted's Lifecast. This is alginate. So the real fun is going to be once that sets up, trying to get his feet out of there. And I did a quick cleanup here. It's starting to set. We had a couple of different layers that we put in there at different times, so they were drying simultaneously and concurrently.
It seems to have not leaked, which is always a plus.
Yes. Yeah. So basically we're just waiting for that to firm up enough to where he can lift his foot out of there. Worst case scenario, we'll just have to do a little break in here so he can lift his foot out, and hopefully there's enough material here so it doesn't distort. But the big thing is keeping that bottom floor intact, because again, we kind of had to cheat things by putting that sodium bicarbonate in there. So
Maybe we just leave it in a bit longer.
a little bit longer. But the sodium bicarbonate trick is really neat too, because if you get that alginate in your clothes, a lot of times people say, you know, you got to throw the clothes away. Not necessarily. You can just hit it with the sodium bicarbonate and let it soak in there for a little while. It dissolves the alginate, and then you're ready to wash your clothes regular. Still setting.
I can feel that all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah, the big fun is going to be in trying to lift your foot out of there.
I would say take the bottom of the box from the front and tip it up a little bit so he can try to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best way is going to be if you can even
I mean,
lift your foot
with the
straight
shoes
out.
on it, I'm so glad we have the balloons.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that stuff would have gone through the fibers around my toes.
Yep. Just going to make some space here. See that what's up against his skin is pretty much cured. It's just what is down in the box that's still at the cooler temperature. It doesn't have the benefit of the body temperature. So it's still a little bit mushy. That's got to sit there just for a little bit longer.
You weren't so delicate, I'd try hopping.
That would definitely work you out, I'm sure. A little bit longer. I mean, this is almost to that full-on mozzarella cheese kind of feel. While we're waiting, does anyone have any questions on this, or what the process was, materials, anything like that? Again, as in most of our videos, I can say, definitely help us out with the Gill-A-Bration event by sharing it with your friends, telling your groups about it that you're a part of, your monster groups, especially if you are online members to any of the big magazines like Famous Monsters of Filmland or anything like that. Let them know that this is going on. We've let them know as well.
Sponsor packets are available.
Sponsor
online
packets are available.
for fairly low dollar amounts.
Thanks to R.J. Grady, our kilted creature and friend to the creature from the Black Lagoon. We have at the Corazon and St. Augustine, will be going there next month, and he's got amazing stuff happening with them as his backer, of course, Marine Land and Ripley's Believe It or Not. So there's a lot of potential there, and he's willing to help us out. He and his wife have been amazing friends. So if you're still watching, guys, thank you very much for all you do for you know, Gill-A-Bration, and of course our other friends that are so numerous, but Gene Crowell and everyone else that has been such huge help. Thank you guys so much. Okay, we are almost there. I can feel that it's almost like that mozzarella cheese that we're talking about. See if you can wiggle your foot around and see what it feels like.
It's starting to loosen. I don't know if the shoe is going to come out with my foot.
Yeah. Well, what we'll have to do probably is one.
No, I mean, well, we won't go trying to tear anything just yet.
Alginate overshoe.
Why don't you tip up the front end so we can kind of...
It's on a very soft foam core, so it'll just come apart. And if we have to take it apart, that's not the worst thing, but I'm just worried about the floor of that thing.
So,
Yes. Is that the angle that you think will work? Keep it up slightly. Let me know if you need me to slit that top a little bit. Okay. If it breaks, that's okay. Perfect. Okay.
woo!
One out, one to go. Leg cramp. Okay, so releasing. The sounds.
Quick fart.
Okay. So we have our. Here's going to be the real fun part, guys. When I lift this up, can you make sure those legs are opened up?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wow. Yeah. So the important things, the sodium bicarbonate, if you want to look in here, Chelsea, and I don't know if we can actually show the peeps.
If you tilt it forward, I brought it down to the lower camera and you might be able to see. Can I compare my flashlight?
But if you kind of see, where we look at the light, you can see in there, over this side, I'm going to borrow it for me. See right in here, we'll get an anchor here. See right in here at the foot line, that fine line, the alginate did join. So when he pulled it out, we had no slippage or anything like that on that bottom joint. So we lucked out with that. So and this line here, which was the separation because we had enough material here, you can see that kind of pushes right back into place. So we are about at the point where we can pour in some wonderful UltraCal. So we'll move this out of the way.
Oh, you can demold that while you're waiting for this to UltraCal to dry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's so stressful.
Yeah, we'll get the cleaner one if we can help it. That one worked.
That was kind of good. Okay. She got two good ones.
And if you want to wipe these out as well, because we'll need that probably.
That one has latex in it.
That will be okay.
That's the amazing part. We didn't hook up the shoes.
Yes. So I don't know what the best way to do this is, because we're just going to be mixing up UltraCal. But you guys can probably see not, I apologize, but it looks like you're on the bird's eye cam.
Yeah, so you can see more of that.
So what we're going to do is guesstimate how much material we're going to need, and it's again 2-to-1 ratio in favor of the powder to the water. So I'm going to think we're going to probably need 2 or 3 at least.
I'm thinking 3.
So luckily, UltraCal is the cheap part of the equation. So if we do have some waste, we're not going to die over it.
Not like silicone.
No. The only thing that scares me is the volume that we're going to be putting in there is a lot.
Well, the walls are fairly thick on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try
You dump that
4-to-1.
into here, you can use the paper towel to wipe it the rest of the way out the switch.
Hey, hey!
Because heavy things are heavy. So again, the biggest thing that we're racing on this is just that leaching out of the water. So we have to move pretty quick.
Never got sticks.
But so far so good. That's just soaking in. What I'll probably do is once we get this mixed, I'll separate it into 2 buckets. That way it'll keep our exotherm a little bit lower. Yeah, we're going with a 2-to-1 ratio on this. Still nowhere near, but I am going to start just stirring this up so we don't get too much sediment in the bottom. If you have any questions at all, you can let us know. Very rarely do you mix up this quantity of UltraCal all at once because of the massive exotherm that takes place. But we're going to be separating this into 2 buckets pretty quick. With such a large batch, it's going to get hot. Luckily, once it gets into the molds, it's going to cool down quite a bit because of the alginate. Okay, I think that's going to be our dry cracker. Let's watch it. And again, we're not seeing any puddling down in the boot, which is important. You don't want anything, making a mess in that. And for those that watched our first video, with the hand. The first hand came out well, and we trimmed that up. We're going to demold the second hand for you, which has been sitting here for a little while. If you missed it and don't want to look back, we do have that where I can show you. And then by the time we demold that, we'll probably be ready to demold a shoe or 2. It's always a breathless moment when you're doing things like this, because you could do it 100 times. You could do the same type of mold or the same process, and then you forget a step, or something happens, or material changes, and all of a sudden you have a fail. So we've been very lucky in You know, I gotta say, what a great team we have here. You know, even Chelsea, our intern, has so far just surpassed expectations as far as how she's going. And check out her page as well on Quirky Critters. We'll put the link in there, won't we, Chelsea? But I'm like the proud dad with her because she does amazing work. Many of you have seen probably in my timeline the succulent baby she made recently. That was 3D printed, and she's now doing 3D printing and sculpting. So she adds a lot to our
3D printing though. It's
No,
not like
totally
filament.
not.
It's resin printing, which is pretty snazzy, if I do say
Yeah,
so.
if you'd like to tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, well, I've been investigating a lot about 3D printing because I like to keep on top of different technologies for this sort of business. I just ultimately decided on an LCD 3D printer, which is a little bit different in that it uses a UV LED panel, and it essentially will slice your model into horizontal image slices, say thousands of images that build up your model, and then it will project from the UV LCD screen up into a resin bath, and it will slowly build up your model in extremely high definition prints. It's fascinating stuff.
I was really impressed with the one that you recently did, and that one wasn't even. That one isn't even high res.
No,
You
that
did
was at 0.05 millimeter. It can go down to 0.01. It just
Wow.
exponentially raises your print time.
Okay. Not a lot of science in this part, so I'm just kind of getting it in there. This is the Ultra Cal. We got our first batch in there already. And this is our second batch. We might need. Hang on, because I need to get this in there too. Oop. Lord. And we'll probably need a little bit more. Chelsea, you want to mix up another batch? Probably just 1 cup of water to 1 cup of Ultra Cal. Shouldn't take too long.
1 to 1.
2.
2 to 1.
Yes. Sorry.
2 cups of water,
Sorry.
1 cup of Ultra then?
1 cup of water, 2 cups of Ultra Cal. And we're burping out. The reason I'm sticking my fingers down in here is just to burp out any air bubbles that would settle in the toe area. And again, since this is Ultra Cal, we do have a little bit of time to get that in there. It's going to cure very quickly because, again, the amount of material in there is just going to cause it to over exotherm. So we're just going to keep it in this bracket, or this clamp that's just basically keeping the mold together, because that's a lot of weight in there.
And the base mold is foam core.
Yes. Ted, can you see if we have any of the short 1x3s, I think they are? We've got some short ones that we can shore this up a little bit more. Because we need it pretty much down to the edge of the thing.
I think so.
Yep, that looks good. Probably not even going to be able to fit it in there. Never mind. Never mind. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in the clamp down in there because we've only got like that wide.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and this again, you have a little bit of leeway because it's not going to be a baked mold. This is just a form to sculpt on. But if we were going to do something that it had to be baked and we were using the Ultra Cal, we'd have to make sure that all the air bubbles were evacuated.
Otherwise.
Yep. Because the air that's inside those trapped air bubbles, when it gets hot, it expands in the oven, even at a low temperature. So once you hit that boiling point, yep, anywhere you had an air bubble is just going to crack. And if you have them in the right places, you're going to crack your whole mold.
place, as it were.
Right. Okay, thank you, Chelsea. So we're going to fill up the rest of this mold here.
Oh, yes.
Where's the, do you have another clamp?
Yeah.
Yes, right above holding the camera.
I see. Never mind.
Okay, so just in time. Got a little bit of extra, so let's hang on to that. You know, in those things that you often lose, we had some regular hand crank clamps too. I don't know where they wound up, but they were the wooden old jobbies. Still, they worked. The good news is that we have a registration mark, even if I have to sit here for 20 minutes, because where the alginate cracked, we can see where that's supposed to be together. So I don't mind holding it like this. It's actually
be
probably.
Prepare for an earthquake.
You're brave. With this kind of material in
Let go.
here, it's gonna cure fast though. At least on the outsides, I probably do need that bar holding that in a little bit. How's that
Camera
working?
one for a little while.
Not bad. Not bad. This one shifted a little bit.
There you
Okay.
Go on.
So that's holding together well. See that one more time? Thank you.
That holding, or
We can trim off any kind of flashing after the fact.
I think it's okay.
That then it won't really matter. Okay, Chelsea, you can go ahead and take that. Okay. So that's basically our wonderful shoe mold. So we just have the time to wait for that to cure up for us a little bit. Any questions in the meantime?
You move it in.
We are in desperate need of table space, because I'm not sure how we can best do that again and have an adequate display area. This has been sitting since what, about 1:30 maybe?
mm-hmm.
So you can see the water that pours off of that. That's all leaching out of the alginate. So basically what we have is just the vacuum. But
And
it
there we
comes
go.
out like a wonderful
All
clam.
over
It
my
tastes-
desk.
It's just algae water. Feel it, it's so smooth.
Slimy.
Feel?
No. Very nice. Here.
Feel vicariously for those. There you go. Slimy.
Really
Like,
just want to like
Of course,
karate
you-
chop.
remember,
wet.
I just had my feet in that stuff. So.
yeah. Well, not your bare feet.
Yeah.
That'd have been an interesting feel.
And getting all the toe details.
Did anyone ever do that experiment for Zoom?
Zoom.
With the non-Newtonian fluid, you'd add a cornstarch and
Oh.
water.
Why don't you at least rotate that table out of the way so you're not gonna clip it in your junk on the stick
So eloquent.
and knock the whole thing down and take your junk out at the same time.
I think you were saying rotate the table. So you don't
That's-
have the pokey thing.
Watch out. when
I'm
you
just
rotate.
nervous about moving it any, because it's heavy and
We're vibrating the bubbles out.
Net positive.
yeah.
There we go. Now it can get me.
Ted was making exploding throwing stars.
Are you playing?
It didn't work though.
It didn't blow up.
No. We always have such fun. You guys can't really see this too well. I'm so sorry. room is a premium here. But I'm basically just doing what you saw on the last one
Here.
and
See what
separating.
camera sees like.
Shazam.
We're basically just, and I can be a little bit more
Why don't you grab those
forceful with this one because it has been sitting for a while. So I'm not as worried about tearing the
Fingers off.
ultracal. Yeah.
Grab that one full of wet so it doesn't knock it down.
Still have to be careful, but again, we may have to pop the fingers like we're going to have to on the first one. We'll have to pop the fingers anyway to spread them out a little bit more. So, we kind of expected that. Not a big deal. We'll just wire in. Oh, looks like this one broke anyway.
Yep.
What, the finger?
Yeah, pinky.
Aw.
But we have to get as much spread as we can on those fingers because we have to sculpt that webbing in, you know, the fin between the fingers. Any other questions out there?
That's not our head, Cindy. That was a borrowed piece for reference.
This was, I believe, she's referring to this. This was the Don Post. This was loaned to me by my good friend and early mentor, Alan Duckworth, so thank you for the use of this. We wound up not really being able to use it for much because we didn't realize how much it differed from the land creature. So, if anything, this was much more the swimming creature, but that was, I believe, from the Don Post original mold. There might be someone that knows more than I, but when I lined up everything, it looked to be more from the Don Post rather than the swimming creature.
You can ask Darren.
Yeah, Darren Perks might know, for sure. He would recognize it for sure.
Bucket o' purple cheese.
Yeah, there was a cool toy when I was a kid. You talk about growing up in the 70s with monster kidness. There was the Mummy's Finger. And it was such a cool toy as a kid, but in retrospect, all it was an alginate finger. And it was like a whitish alginate in the baggie. So when you got it home and opened it up, it mummified. So they called it the Mummy's Finger. But that was the kind of toys and crap I bought.
I think I was sheltered from things like that.
I was indulged. If it was Monster, I had to have it. Yeah, we lost the pinky. But that's okay.
Brain will be most disappointed.
Huh?
Brain will be most disappointed if you lost Pinky.
Oh, look at that too. You got.
So you guys have done both hands?
Huh?
We're on the interwebs.
We are live on the interwebs. So yeah, we lost the pinky. I think somewhere there's a dark fairy that is bringing him into Dream World.
Uh-oh.
For those of watching Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, you need to do that. There's the, oh, I'm not even on the hand. That's the hand.
Lost hope.
So, as you can see, these fingers are a little more spread, but we can get a little more on that even by adding the sculpting wire, the armature wire, and then separate it. But again, that's pretty darn perfect hand. And this one, because we put more material in, we of course didn't have to do anything with the wrist, so we're good there.
Wow. See, it looks just like me.
Yes. So that can be cleaned up and mounted. Let's see where we are with this. It's almost there. It's almost there. This we don't have to be nearly as careful with.
Because there's no little fiddly bits.
Right, no little fingers to break off. But We're getting there.
Can't even break off toes.
No.
Oh, there you go. You can hold another edible.
Yeah.
Oh no. There's bubbles.
Oh, that's okay. That I am not worried about in the least. I don't know if you guys can. Yeah, that's almost there. Yeah, I can tell by this. This is really setting up nicely. So I'm almost positive what is in the mold is probably doing it even faster because of the mass. Still pretty cool on top though. I'm just going to add a little bit to the very top now that it's starting to go off. Quiet on the set.
She got black and green.
That is
I don't think they're pretty.
that is our daughter who is informing us she got her new skates for her birthday.
Because her Uncle Mike
So,
loves her, so she got
for-
outdoor skates.
For everyone out there,
Actually, those may be.
why don't we embarrass Stella right
No,
now
I'm
by
leaving.
saying happy birthday?
No, I'm leaving. It's
And
Mom's birthday.
Amber's is on Friday, so we've got
Sunday.
birthdays all around. Friday.
It is Friday? I thought it was Sunday. I have that
Ooh,
day.
you lost
Sunday is
points.
Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. I'm tired.
Yeah, Father's Day in our house is like non-existent because, you know,
It's
True.
not non-existent.
too many other
No,
birthdays in the area.
No, I'm not talking about.
You get Father's Day.
Yeah, but you and Papa will come over and me and Mommy and Nana make food. And you guys get presents.
And
Don't
then
act
we
like
have the
don't love
birthday
you.
party.
Don't act like we don't love you.
Oh, I didn't act like that.
You're so mean. You care too much.
We could have a Fudgy the Whale cake with the closest ones in Inverness.
Fudgy the Whale.
That's
Do they
for
even make
Michael.
those still?
That's for
Yeah.
Michael. He
We
needs
need
road
road
cake.
cake. Road cake.
I don't know if I
And there's Michael. He joined just in time.
They're like middle class.
Oh, wow. So we've got all the birthdays are in June.
And Emma.
What
her
happened
birthday's
9 months
same day
ago?
as Stella's.
Wait, who's Emma?
Aaron had his birthday
That would have been
the
a
other
winter
day.
thing, huh?
Well,
Not much
our
to
family
do.
has breeding
Stillman?
season.
Yeah.
Waylon's fiance.
Oh, yeah.
And Waylon had his birthday the other day.
Yeah.
Because Waylon and
Everyone's
Emma
having
are
I didn't know
birthdays.
Emma never find. I know
Well,
she
happy
never
birthday to
found
your
my
daughter
birthday.
too, Cindy, and RJ, of course.
We have all the June birthdays.
June, July,
So-
June
August.
and
almost.
August are monopolized.
We're
by
getting
our
there,
family.
Okay, you are.
He's a January birthday. And so is Pedro.
I can't feel any warmth coming from this. That's weird.
Because you got so much
So much
water.
insulation.
Go get me some more coffee.
We live by coffee.
We need a coffee exorcist.
Your Jack the Movie Theater cup that has become your shop cup.
Yes. Well, you know how many cups I've destroyed in shops over the years.
Which, by the way, I know I have to buy one. I was watching one on the eBay. I broke my Disney Bride cup.
No! I'm sorry.
It broke.
I think my
bad.
Disney husband one is broken, isn't
No.
it? Was that one that
Maybe
got
your
broken?
groom one? No.
I don't remember.
No, just mine.
Oh,
Stop breaking
look.
them.
Look. Ultra cow. Chelsea, would you like to make a cube?
Yes, they-
That's always fun. This is a blob of Ultra Cal. It's been sitting there for a while. Let's see what you do. I'm not putting her on the spot though because she's done this before. To dazzling results. It's
I can
really
make a
not that hard. Make a pair of Oogie Boogie dice real easy out of this stuff.
It's gotta set a little bit more.
Yeah. The thing is once it gets to that consistency, it sets pretty quick. And that girl does not know how to put it. And this is totally ashed over. Still got a little bit of play to it, but that's good.
You're touching the
Just the tops. The inside ankle.
23 skidoo.
23 what?
Skidoo.
Oh. You have a
Klingon.
stalactite ball?
Yes.
Yeah, this is getting very nice in consistency. Now, the real cool thing, I don't know if you can see it, but all around,
The molding.
Yeah,
we
the
did
molding,
some
for sure.
sculpting video-ish.
but we're gonna have sculpting videos for the hands and feet, definitely. And on the suit, when we get to the suit, that'll definitely, be a thing. And we've had people that are more
Girl,
local.
stop distracting people from your subterfuge and all the screens you're throwing up to make the creature look fake. Birthday talk will not save you once the truth comes out.
Yes. Yes. Lord Elberford is under the impression, for those who don't know, that this is a ruse, that we are somehow working in cahoots with the real creature. And he believes that we are,
Who
we're,
would live basically in your backyard?
that he's living in our backyard.
We're hiding
hate
him
to-
here in the shop.
I hate
Somewhere.
to disappoint you,
I don't have the room for that.
Elberford. But no, it's not here. If it were, I would definitely show you guys,
He's
because
saving a whole hell of a lot of time and
Yeah.
money.
You
Yeah.
just do a life cast on him.
yes. I mean, you have no idea how much this actually costs to produce this suit. I mean, we're already in the $2,000 range, and we haven't even begun yet. So yeah, it's very expensive. Which again, please like, share. We want to make this worth it. And
Sponsor, contact
Yes.
anybody you know that might
Yes.
want to sponsor.
Because it's important to us to make this a fitting tribute to not only the creature from the Black Lagoon, but to the people who are still here that were a part of that, like, of course, Rico Browning and Ginger Stanley. They deserve to see what they mean to fans, and what more fitting than the 65th anniversary, and then next year being the 65th anniversary of Revenge. So yeah, we have great plans for the future, but we got to get past this year, and that means making a good show, giving the vendors something to talk about and prosper from, bringing them back next year and beyond. We do have a lot of plans for this little show. If it works well, this could be a very good thing for monster kids and fans of monsters in general.
And Ocala.
And Ocala, yeah. So, okay, still a little bit ashy, but we're getting there. Takes a little bit longer for the Ultracal to cure in the alginate, but we are getting
Because it's so
there.
cool.
It's cool. It's insulated.
And I'm on mosquito duty,
Mosquito duty.
Thank you for that.
minding the citronella thingies.
If you guys have any other questions, I know you're just looking at a mold set just sitting there, but if you have any questions, please let us know. Elberford, you're crazy. We are definitely going to, we're going to have to talk about this, man. The authorities are probably going to have to be made aware of your craziness. But let me tell you, man, there is no creature. The only creature we know wears a kilt and plays the bagpipes. That's it. You're looking in Ocala. I think he's in North Carolina. Hello, Oscar. I see that you've joined. This is another great guy, a friend of ours from Sonoya, Georgia. Currently a whisperer, if you're watching The Walking Dead. And he was also a big part of the celebration in Sonoya, working with the city and Chris Twellman and everyone else to make a charity event that we went to.
We're gonna have to call the police. That man was in our house.
Oh boy.
There's also double-sided tape. I can just get
He was
Right.
standing in the
I will
kitchen
say
when
this,
Stella
we
went
have
in to
some
go get
very, very amazing friends.
2,000 already. You must really be committed to the charade to spend that much on books.
Yes, Elba Ford, we are committed to this ruse. So much so we're willing to invest our own money in.
He went into our house. Our kids are in there. That's creepy.
He locked me in the laundry room.
Well,
locked
did he
her in the
leave?
laundry room.
Did he leave a note? Are we going to have to inform?
Yes, I might be like doing something.
Commissioner
Where's your
Gordon and-
brother? Did he take your brother?
No, he's still playing
Some
Minecraft.
ransom note?
Commissioner Gordon and
I know the truth. By the way, you're out of mayonnaise.
oh boy.
Did he make a sandwich? I didn't see him either.
Yeah, now we're getting. Oh, it's up there. I know the truth. By the way, you're out of mayo. Yes.
Oh my god.
And before anyone gets too crazy, I don't want to spoil anything, but
We have to call the police.
Elba Ford isn't as dangerous as you would think, so please take his nonsense with a grain of salt. I've seen his videos, and I think we're
For
safe.
Cocoa Puffs?
He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, well, cuckoo can turn into dangers pretty quick. How much for the office chairs? They're not for sale, you dingleberry.
Okay, this is looking really nice.
Nice ashy feet. Do
Yeah,
they need some lotion?
Yeah, I hit cubic level, so
might be. But looking very nice.
it's a little skewed, but not bad.
And I can tell when we remove the clamps, nothing goes anywhere, so that's a good sign.
Were you aware that there's dungeons?
Rotate this around again.
Were you aware that there's underwater cave dungeons?
Okay.
Ted did a better cube than I did this time.
Ted's working on a cube as well. Wow, that's a big one.
Got a good one.
That's what she said.
According
So-
to the Jimmy hats.
That's our cube.
I know.
So that has kind of been. Oh, that's nice though. I like the symmetry.
Thank you.
It's very nice. It's like ice cubes for cavemen. So
Seeing as how a lot of cavemen are around during the Ice Age, I'm assuming that would just be any
Redundant.
water they tried to drink.
Can you not throw that shit on the floor?
why? Have you seen this floor? I'm gonna have to sweep till tomorrow.
There's a trash bag right there, like 2 feet away. Chelsea, can you grab that bag and open it up
Yep.
right next to him on the floor?
Yep.
I'll save those. Those can go on an art installation. So that's one of the reasons I like using
Phone core?
foam core, is that it's easy to build and easy to tear apart. And what we did when we made this, I didn't bore you with the details on that, but we laid out a pattern and then just cut the maximum height that we needed. And foam core, because it's lined, it's got an inside and an outside. You can actually do a nice contour whether you're making a large mold or a small mold, but there were cuts on this side of it, so you can actually bend it, and your poster board on the inside stays intact, so you don't have any leak through. If you do, you can always tape it just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. But that's our high-tech mold for a dime. You know, it's a lot cheaper to do it that way.
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree foam core. And then we just reinforced it with a couple of, held it together with hot glue.
Duct tape.
So, yeah.
And that's monster high duct tape, that's it.
Yes. Because you don't want to waste good stuff on this.
It's probably collectible now if they ended that line.
Yeah.
Gummy bears are available for that.
So we're just
I think we
making,
used up the gummy bear tape on something else.
breaking away the top area, because that'll make it harder for us
We
to
used
get
up a lot of it.
the
Superman.
alginate off.
Macaroni and cheese. SpongeBob.
And this is just that top flange area. This isn't the detail. Again, if there are any questions, please let us know. I know, again, we're on a Tuesday afternoon, but we've been working around the clock so much lately. I think last night we were in here until after 1 working on another project, which another thing a lot of people don't understand. This is part of a passion project for us. So
We
this
work
is
our
stuff-
regular work into the wee hours of the night so we can do this during the day for
Yes.
your entertainment.
Yes, so we're working round the clock for making bill money and having to put time and money into this as well. So it really is a passion for us.
It's hot still. Did it
So,
go outside?
natural place to start demolding this is going to be right along this break.
I did we cut off the 2 pieces.
I went to throw it outside, so I can do it.
Storm's coming through again.
Stella says she used the force to
Oh,
open the
little
door.
bubble in the toe. Oh, well.
Wow,
Bubble
this is
in the toe.
a lot of alginate. Ugh, this is like 10 pounds of alginate here. Ugh.
Yeah, that'll fill in nice.
Yep, because that's going to be clayed up anyway. But we have
Oh, that's a good one.
all
A
the
foot.
dimensions we need.
Good, Chelsea, you just get a body scanner and then you can print a foot.
It slid. Okay.
Experimenting with photogrammetry.
Put a what? Where's the rasp? Is that laying? Yes, it's laying right there. So we have this little mushroom here that we need to try to get off. Anyone got a little tapping device, maybe like a screwdriver or something?
Scissors? Behind the door.
Won't take too much.
Give that another one so we can
Perfect. Perfect.
So why?
Work smarter, not harder.
Because our rubber mallet ran away.
No, I found
Where was it?
it. In the shed.
Where is it now?
In the shed. But you can see not a lot of glamour in special effects stuff like that, and it always amazes me because I see people that have videos and stuff like that. And I'm just not that charismatic, you know. We are what we are, and take us or leave us. We're not very
That is
interesting.
a rasp from what, Harbor Freight?
Yes. But there we have the first one. It's even got registration marks on the bottom for us. We'll have to clean up where we had a little bit of spill through. But we know exactly where that foot is going to be in that suit. So when we build that up, the 12% or whatever, we have an accurate form, complete with little air bubbles. But that's our foot. And because it's ultracal, there's no shrink as well. So actually we'll make room. This one, over there, 10-pound foot. So you see, you don't need a fortune to do this stuff. And in fact, on a job like this where it's basically, you know, for not-for-profit situation, you have to learn where to cut corners, where you can adequately save, and what you can and can't do. what you can get by with. Gravity check.
It works! Yay!
I mean, could you spend more money and get the same thing? Sure. But where's the fun in that? And believe me, when you get into the actual materials of making the suit, like the latex and the paints and all that stuff that you have to do, there's enough of an expense, so you shave expense where you can. But it's
Really? You even got my bony ankle and the veins in my ankle?
yes. It gets everything.
I'm just gonna fit you like a glove.
Hopefully not too much like a glove.
Very comfortable on the feet. I can't wear those socks with the separate toe things.
Okay. So this is the other boot. So there we are. So again, when we actually sculpt the creature shoe on this, we'll be able to tell, okay, we're going to make our base and then we'll have our footprint, and then we do all the detail on top of that plus the 12%. So there it is. And yeah, Ted was talking about his vein. There it is. Ankle vein. But no, that's it. Any other questions? Which camera?
I'm on this camera, can't see your head though.
Any other questions from?
Now you're up.
Well, be sure to keep checking us out. We are going to have a little fundraiser type thing this week as well. I think we were talking about maybe doing it tomorrow. If you go to my timeline, we'll have information on it, but it's actually Scott's Toy Box Live. We have several different things that we're going to be auctioning on that for raising money for the suit and for the event as a whole. But you'll be able to get things like signed Migos that I sculpted the heads for, masks. We have autographed masks we saw Oscar on there earlier. He and the other Whisperers at the Camp Merrimack Charity Bash were so nice to sign a couple of the masks for us, including our new friend Cassidy. She plays Lydia on the show, and she liked the mask and was playing around with it, and we asked if she could sign it as well for the charity. So that'll be a cool thing to auction off for the charity. So yeah, a lot of stuff is coming. We think it's going to be Wednesday, but we'll definitely send out a reminder on that as well. Anything else we can throw in, guys? Still have dealer tables available, vendor spots for the Gill-A-Bration. We still have sponsorships available. There are still
Tickets and
Tickets and VIP experiences for the event itself.
There's also discounted hotel room rates.
Yes, discounted hotel room rates. If you go to the Give Kids the World page for it,
or the Gill-A-Bration page,
Gill-A-Bration page on the Facebook, it will take you right to that, and you'll have discounted rooms if you mention Gill-A-Bration.
And you don't think you have to mention Gill-A-Bration. I think there's a link that takes you directly to
the
booking those.
To the booking?
discounted rooms.
That makes it even easier. So we're trying to make it easy, but again, this is first year show with people that really haven't done this before, so bear with us.
Got our hotels from our wonderful friend, Miss Kelsey Smith.
Yep. Thank you, Kelsey Smith, for helping us with the room rates. Those were amazing.
Apparently our audio is out of sync, mildly.
That's
We
weird.
do have a storm overhead.
Yeah, we do have a storm, and we're in a steel building, so that might be something to do with it. Sorry about that. But what else? Oh, the special for the vendor booths that ended officially June 1st. If you got your applications and money in by then, you will honor the discount rates for the vendors. But we're thinking about having a couple of specials coming up here. We're working out the details where we extend the discounted rate. So we're talking about maybe doing something for Father's Day or 4th of July just to get last minute people in. We're about half booked, if I'm not mistaken, now with tables, and we really have to watch how many people we have at this venue. We don't want to overload it, but we're about half full now. So if you're on the fence and you're deciding on, do I go or not, give us a little while. Wait until like Father's Day. We might have a special for you that comes up. So we'll definitely let you guys know. But any other questions? If not, we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll probably see you tomorrow night on the Scott's Toy Box Live channel. Anything else coming through? Okay, guys. Well, on behalf of everyone at the Scott Fenster Sculpture Studio, of course, myself, Miss Amber, the wonderful Ted, and Chelsea, and Mike Canal, our quiet guy behind the scenes that makes things happen, and Felicitator. We thank you guys.
You cannot buy our microwaves.
Huh?
Alfred Wednesday's live. He
Oh,
wants
of
to know how
course.
much the chairs were. Now he said, if you need funds for this festival, I'll buy those microwaves for $60.
We only have one microwave.
We have a second, it's just not there.
Yes.
And a toaster.
Yes. But anyway, guys, thank you again for showing up and hanging with us for these hours this afternoon. But lots more to come. So thank you for hanging out with us.